What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Report Podcast, episode number 7, huh? Got Kid and Mike here with me. Kid, say what's up to everybody.
What's going on, people, man? It's been a minute, but we back.
Mike, say what's up.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Glad to be back. Let's get it.
Alright, well, seeing that we haven't done one of these things since the Super Bowl, we can start off with the free agency. Who was y'all's biggest surprise in the NFL switching teams?
I think the biggest surprise had to have been the Eagles and their ridiculous move making. I mean, none of it made sense to me, to be quite honest. They just did a bunch of crazy stuff. I mean, they picked up some good players, DeMarco Murray, what have you, Ryan Matthews. Okay, but you get rid of your all-pro quarterback, all-pro running back. You know, I don't know what Chip Kelly. Then you sign Tebow, which that confused you. Then you re-sign Mark Sanchez, who looks to be the starting quarterback because you traded for Sam Bradford, who I don't think he's played. When's the last time he played a regular season game?
Oh, no.
I know he was out for the whole season last year.
Yeah, he played 1 or 2 games last season, something like that.
Yeah, see, it's like if he makes it to 4 games, I guess it's worth it. But he can't even play 4 games a year. So.
See, my whole thing on the whole Tebow thing. See, this is my thinking. I was like, they don't have the greatest receiving core, so if Bradford goes down, it's not really a hit because I mean, who was he throwing it to anyway? So if you bring in DeMarco Murray, the leading rusher last season, into the game. Then you got Tim Tebow, who ran the run option with what was his name? Willis McGahee, I believe his name was, when he was with Denver. I think that was the running back. He wasn't DeMarco. So if he can do that with McGahee, then I feel like he could do wonders with DeMarco. And they run that run option. It might do some wonder. That's why I see Tebow being at least a second string, or I can see them running that, depending on how successful it is. That would be my idea of playing with Tebow with DeMarco. That's just my thing.
So you think Tebow is going to be the starter, really?
I think Tebow will be like an X factor. I don't know if he's going to be like the starter because it might not. Because if that's what they plan is to run like a run option, see it as Chip Kelly. What kind of offense did he run in Oregon? Did he run a lot of run option?
Who?
Chip when he was in Oregon.
Oh, that's pretty much their thing. Was they would run 2-3 running backs, and they didn't really count on the quarterback. But that's not going to work in the pros. Come on, really?
What, the run option?
Yeah, it doesn't work in the pros.
Tebow did pretty good when he was with Denver.
He didn't do anything. He got lucky with a couple of passes. Let's be honest. Look at his stats and tell me.
His throwing stats was horrible. But I'm gonna check. Hold on, let me check his rushing stats because that's where he made his money. Was when he was running the ball.
Yeah, they can barely move the ball with him back there. It's not.
Let me see. Let me.
So if you had to pay one team that won free agency, what team would that be?
Oh.
I want to say the Jets.
No, either the Jets or Buffalo.
I want to see the Jets. I want to say them because they added pieces on defense and offense. Well, a couple pieces on offense, depending on how Brandon Marshall does. I don't think he's gonna do anything like that special. They're gonna have to make another move at quarterback because I don't think Geno is the move. Me personally, I think they're gonna have to find somebody else. I give them about another year to fix that offense, but that defense is legit.
Yeah, I could go with the Jets. The Jets had a pretty good year.
Yeah, mine was either them or Buffalo. Let's see. Well, we might as well get this shit out of the way. What did you guys think about the fucking Jimmy Graham trade? I'll just throw that out there and get this out of the way.
It was very confusing. I didn't understand it. I was not sure why. I don't know. Was he threatening not to come back, and did they feel like they needed to get something for him?
Nope. I don't know what they were thinking. I never heard anything about him not coming back. I can't figure out why. And out of all people on the Seahawks, you trade for their center. I'm trying to figure out I guess it's because they got C.J. Spiller. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out still.
Who knows? Who knows? Hopefully it works out. Because as good as Drew Brees is, he's gonna start losing weapons soon, and he doesn't need to lose that weapon. That's one weapon I wouldn't want to lose.
Yep.
You can take all of my receivers. Don't get rid of Jimmy Graham.
The Seahawks definitely not going to have any trouble in their pass offense now.
Yeah, Russell Wilson has another safety net to make him look good.
Yeah, and they got Chris Matthews coming back now after what he did in the Super Bowl. Oh my God.
Yeah.
My prediction right now, they're going to the Super Bowl again.
Who going to the Super Bowl?
Seattle.
No.
Who's going to beat him?
Nobody.
No. Let's break it down to you. Listen, I'm glad they made that trade.
What?
I'm glad Seattle made that trade. Because I don't believe it's going to, that's my opinion. I think Lynch got his money. The run game is going to drop significantly from last season. I feel like that defense.
They got Jimmy Graham.
Man, Russell ain't throwing the ball. Russell don't throw the ball.
He doesn't have to throw it but 3 yards to Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, we ain't worried. Jimmy Graham.
Linebacker in the fucking league. What does he need to do with deep passes?
Jimmy Graham
doesn't have to throw deep anymore.
We ain't worried about Jimmy Graham. Matter of fact, when I say
let me just ask you this question before you continue.
Let's talk about the
Who
Packers.
do you think is better than the Seahawks going in?
Packers. Green Bay.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is
I'm not being biased.
Seattle's going to win, but as a fan, you hoping that the Packers pull something out of their ass to beat them. Because there's no way in reality that if they are good enough.
Week 2, we got Seattle at Lambeau. I gotta realize that secondary, the secondary.
All right, that's fine. Week 2 is all good and dandy. Talk to me in week 19 when they're hosting y'all at home in a playoff game. Then we'll see.
Seattle. We're not worried about Seattle.
Okay.
We got for them.
Okay, so basically you think Seattle is going to win too, is what you said.
No, they're going to lose.
Yeah, because you're talking from a fan's perspective. You're not talking about football in general.
Hold on. Listen. Seattle is not doing nothing this year.
Okay.
I don't even have
maybe
them. Well, actually, you know what? I have them winning that division, but I don't have them going past the first round of playoffs. I don't see them doing. It's just too much going on in Seattle right now. That secondary the live is not as good as it was last year, and even last year they said it wasn't as good as the first year when they won the Super Bowl. I don't see them.
They should have won the Super Bowl last year.
They shouldn't even been in the Super Bowl.
Why shouldn't they have been in the Super Bowl?
Well, for that.
Why shouldn't they have been in the Super Bowl? They weren't the one who gave up a lead.
Listen,
lost the game.
They shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl. Brandon Bostic shouldn't have tried to catch that ball.
Game.
The Packers should have been in the NFC Championship game. Cowboys should have been in the Super Bowl.
Well, that's another thing right there.
How would the Cowboys, even if they would have caught the ball, again, if they would have caught the ball, if they would have ruled it a catch, they was on a 1 yard line, and then they had 4 minutes left in the game. We was only down by 3.
Rodgers isn't clutch.
Rodgers, even in that game, even in the NFC Championship game, we had the ball back for 50 seconds. Rodgers let us down the field to field goal range. Rodgers can only do so much. He can only do so much. And he was on one leg. Think about if Rodgers was healthy.
That defense was on one leg.
No, that defense came into the game healthy.
Seattle?
Seattle came into that game healthy. The defense was.
So you're blaming Rodgers for losing that game? Is that what you're saying? Rodgers who cost you the game?
Oh no, I would never blame Rodgers.
Okay, because I didn't see your defense
to end the game, but Rodgers put us in position to win that game. I don't care what nobody says. Rodgers put that team in position to win that game. You had a failed onside kick from a guy that wasn't even supposed to catch the ball. Then you had a 2-point conversion. You had a fake field goal. Rodgers had nothing to do with that.
But your defense didn't. So you're saying your defense cost you the game?
The defense, it was a mental collapse within the last 3 minutes of that game.
Okay, then Seattle should have been in there because if you are a good enough team, You don't make that type of collapse.
That was too much going on at
You
that
don't make
time,
that
man.
much
That was a mental collapse. Bostic should have tried to catch the ball.
Here's the thing: if you're a good team, you don't fold.
But
So
you gotta understand that's a young team too.
Seattle earned their right.
A lot of those guys that was in that game has never been there before. So that was all a mental collapse on their end.
Okay, all right. So you're saying this year now that you've like shown.
This year is our year.
Oh, okay.
The only team that has a chance is Seattle. I'm not gonna knock Seattle and say, oh, they out of the loop. They up there with us. It's neck and neck right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's the only team that I will see stopping us. And it won't be because they outscored. It's because of their defense. That's why I'm saying their offense is not. I don't care about their offense. Their offense is not a factor to us.
All right, I don't want to bring that into laughter. So get in the next topic, please.
I was gonna say, since we're on Seattle, what do you think about like Russell Wilson's contract situation? How they called him, quote unquote, a more skilled version of Andy Dalton.
Yeah, they playing hardball. I mean, I'm gonna say this. While I don't think
they know the truth, which is what I was talking about. But go ahead.
No, he's not Andy Dalton. He's better than Andy Dalton. One, that's just them trying to play hardball. But I do say this, that he is as good as he is because of the pieces that he has surrounding him.
Mm-hmm.
He has a really good team around him. So therefore, do you give him that money? Because all he has to do is not fuck up, and he's good at that. He doesn't fuck up. You know, you could say he threw that interception in the Super Bowl. That wasn't his fault. They should have never called that play. That was the stupidest play in the world. The call. You don't call that play at the 1 yard line with the leading rusher over the last 3 years. It just makes no sense. You know, so don't blame him for that. But yeah, he doesn't make mistakes. He's, you know, he knows how to manage the offense. He's solid. Now, is he worth paying the most? Probably not. So they got to make it so that they can negotiate enough money. I'm sure they don't want to get rid of him. I'm sure that they value him. But you got to do what you got to do to keep him from trying to get that max contract, because he's going. That's a lot of money to invest.
That brings me up to the question: Why did Cam get that new contract when he's never even been in? Russell Wilson been in the Super Bowl twice.
Because
he can't get paid.
These teams are scared to lose players. That's all it is. Cam probably sells them tickets and all types of stuff. I can see why they threw him that money. He's not. Me personally, I don't believe him, Kaepernick, Tannehill, Dalton, all of them. I don't believe none of them guys should have got like $100 million contract, because they haven't won anything. That's just my opinion. But I can understand why they was giving Cam that money, why they throw it at him, because he's probably the reason why a lot of those players, why a lot of those fans come to them games, and if people want to sign to that team, it's probably because of Cam. So
probably right.
I can see that. But as for the whole Russell thing, he ain't gonna get that type of money because he can't win a game by himself. Like Mike said, he's supported by a lot of good pieces around him. Russell's he's an all right quarterback.
Well, he didn't have any receivers until this year. He had Hurst and Percy Harvin.
He has a lot of good pieces around him. Does he make his team better? That's the question. That's the kind of money that you give somebody that doesn't make your team better. They ain't gonna throw him at him. They probably give him at least, it probably be around the same ballpark as Cam, but it ain't gonna be no more than him. People think he's gonna get more than Tannehill and Cam and stuff like that.
He probably is gonna get more than Cam.
I don't know.
I don't know. They're trying to make it so that they could maybe spread it a little longer. Like, I'm thinking they're trying to pad it so they can have enough money left to keep their team together for a couple of more years. Did you give them that money? I mean, it's like, okay, you give Cam that money, that's all good, but once you start getting to the big part of his contract, what you gonna do with Keegan? You know, what's his money? What are you gonna do with your running backs when you need to keep one of your running backs? What about your other players? Where's the money gonna go? I think that's what they're trying to be careful about. They're trying to do it so that they can make sure they can keep, a lot of that defense, some of the offensive line, and stay a strong competitive team, and not just have a quarterback on a bad team,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we had the NFL draft too. Who was y'all's biggest surprise in the draft, like player wise or trading wise?
Hold on.
I was just surprised the Redskins didn't fuck up. That amazed me. I thought they were gonna do something stupid.
I didn't know who Stephon Anthony, the dude that the Saints drafted, the middle linebacker. I didn't know he was that good. He's actually pretty decent. So may have a good linebacker now. Our defense looks a little bit better now that we got Brandon Browner. And I think his name was like Delvin Breaux or something from the CFL. He was a good corner over there, so picked up a couple good pieces on defense wise. Then you got
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say this draft didn't really, to me, it wasn't that great as far as the real standout players. Like I think in a couple of years we're gonna look back at this as one of the weaker drafts star wise. You're probably gonna have a lot of good, solid players, gonna have solid careers, but I didn't see anybody who was worth jumping out there for. I think a lot of teams felt the same too, except for the Bucks and the Titans, because they needed to get a quarterback, so they had to go with what was there and what was the best available. Everybody else, I think they tried to get people who they felt like they need for the most part. They didn't really worry. But although I do think that the Rams, I don't know if I would have got Todd Gurley that early, but
I don't know why they did that either, because I forgot about Zach Stacy. They still had him at the time they drafted him. Then they got Trey Mason. I was kind of surprised by that.
yeah, that would probably be the biggest head scratcher right there. Everything else, I thought, everybody pretty much picked the safe, smart route and did what they needed to for the team. My question is, how long before Mariota and Winston end up not being the quarterbacks people tried to make them out to be? That's what I want to know.
It was crazy. That might happen for both of them like sooner than later. The only reason why I say that is because Tampa. Well, actually, you know what? Jameis Winston has a better receiving core than Mariota. So Winston Winston has, I would say, no excuses to do necessarily bad. He's gonna have probably an average quarterback year for a quarterback for him being a rookie. Considering that he has Mike Evans, I believe he got Vincent Jackson. He can just throw it up to. Then you got who was his name? Doug Martin.
Yeah.
I believe that's his running back. So he got some decent pieces on offense. He really has no excuses. I can understand with Mariota, they might give him a few years, seeing as they still got to rebuild on the offensive end of the ball. But I don't think Mariota is going to be the guy that everybody expects him to be, because they was already calling him a system quarterback before even coming into the league. So I don't know how he's going to do with Tennessee. I'm going to keep my eye on, especially that first game where they face off against each other. That's going to be a good game, hopefully. So
you think Winston would be the better of the two?
he should. Well, he should have a better, first couple of years, because he has the better pieces around him.
Mm-hmm.
So
then we got AP just came back to the Vikings today. What do you guys think about that?
I'm wondering how they're going to handle that, because I don't think he really wants to be there anymore, especially after the whole suspension.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, who could take him? He's untradeable. That's his problem.
They
His
want too
contract
much.
makes him untradeable.
Yeah, they want too much for him.
Yeah, no, it's like between his contract and what they're going to want to get for him, that's too much. That's way too much. You're going to mess up your salary cap and potentially mess up your future by giving away the picks that they want. It's not worth it. He's just going to have to suck it up, and he's going to have to play out the year in Minnesota.
Yeah, he was saying that the only reason he came back was because he has a good relationship with Coach Mike Zimmer.
Well, that's good. He's going to need that because, yeah, at the moment he's stuck. When he signed that contract, he made himself pretty much a Viking for life, in my opinion.
Pretty much. They said said next season he could go to like Dallas or Arizona like he wanted to, but
Dallas can't
that's if
afford him.
that's it. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's if they have the money next year. Oh,
Yeah, no, Dallas can't afford him. They could barely afford to try to get Dez on board. They're
yeah.
struggling trying to get Dez on board. How are they going to pay him? They couldn't pay DeMarco Murray. They had to make that choice. How are they going to get him?
Waiting to see, I guess. Let me see. I don't know if I had any more NFL topics. Let's see. You guys have anything else that we didn't bring up already, as far as NFL wise?
Nah, it's pretty dry right now.
They need to figure out something about OTAs and star players because too many people are getting hurt for the season in OTAs.
Who all got hurt? I know about that rookie from Jacksonville. Who else got hurt?
Who just got hurt the other day? Somebody just tore their ACL or something. The other day it was a wide receiver. It's been a couple of people who went down or can't play for the rest of the season, had to have surgery or something they discovered during OTAs. It's kind of a waste at this point. It shouldn't. I think it should be for rookies. I don't think vets should have to do it.
Yeah,
you're right.
There were a bunch of people holding out. One of the guys that I saw earlier was Michael Bennett, the left hand for Seattle. He was one of the new contracts, so he held out. So they have to get that situated. But moving on to the NBA playoffs, was there a surprise as far as going down to the finals for y'all?
I'm kind of surprised Cleveland's in it only because of the injuries and the problems that they had going into it. But at the same time, I'm not because they had a pretty lucky road. Their matchups have worked out very well for them. Warriors, not surprised. Expected the Warriors to be there. Cleveland, I guess everybody expected them to be there because if you look at the East, definitely never thought Atlanta was good enough. I didn't even think Atlanta would be in the Eastern Conference Finals, to be quite honest.
They shouldn't have been.
Yeah, I think if they hadn't have had, if John Wall hadn't have broken his hand,
that was my point.
They would have not been in there because they were on the road to getting beat in 5.
And they got swept.
Yep.
I think, what would I say? I think my surprise was probably, that's probably Portland. Because all the stuff that they were doing, and then they just went out and got killed by the Memphis. That was just bad. I didn't expect Memphis to do it like that. So that's probably my biggest surprise as far as right now.
They played bad. They played real bad.
Let's see. The Bulls firing Thibodeau. That could be our next topic. What did you think about that? Were you surprised or you saw it coming?
Saw what coming?
Bulls firing Thibodeau.
Everybody had been saying it all year, and I guess I was kind of surprised because I didn't know. I mean, I heard the rumors, but I didn't know it was to the point they had real hate for this guy. They were just waiting for an excuse to fire him because they didn't like working with him. I didn't know Jerry Reinsdorf and John Paxson and the GM just despised him as a person at that point because once that press conference came out and they started talking shit about him, I was like, whoa, what is this? And then somebody, schooled me on that. I was like, damn, I didn't know they just didn't want him around anymore. So
I just figured it was coming after all the rumors started coming out. I knew that at that point, once they searched the rumors, that he was done pretty much. But it's unfortunate for him because he had just so many injuries. His team was never really healthy the whole time he was there.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Who are they gonna get though?
They're talking about the what's his name, Fred Hoiberg, college coach from Iowa. That was their. They were talking to him earlier, so we'll see what happens with that. They were talking about Thibodeau going to the Pelicans, but they just got the Warriors assistant. So I don't even know where he's gonna go.
That's because they held him out too long, man. They didn't give him an opportunity to go out there and try to find like jobs or anything like that. They waited
That's
till
what I'm saying. What
pretty much the
what
last
jobs are there?
and they knew they was firing him after they lost that game.
Yeah. I don't even know what team, like, besides the Pelicans. I guess if you were like the Hornets or something, you could fire your coach. I don't know.
Damn, and damn.
I don't see a point why he wouldn't be coaching next year. It's just, it sucks for him.
I'd take a year off and wait for a job that you really want, to be quite honest. Because I don't know who Chicago. I mean, they could get Mark Jackson, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think that will work out because Jerry Rossoff never struck me as the type of person who likes working with strong-willed coaches. You know, he had his problems with Phil Jackson, and was glad that Phil left. You know, he's had his problems with Thibodeau. I think that's why they're going after Hoiberg, because they need somebody who fresh out of rookie, is just happy to be there type person. He'll go along with the program.
That makes sense. There's another coach firing with Scott Brooks. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, that was surprising. But I mean, I guess Donovan is supposed to be. I'm not sure about Billy Donovan. I really am not. He's done good at Florida, but it's a totally different situation in the pros. I don't know how well. I mean, he's been around the pros before, but only as an assistant. But I don't know. Head coaching in the pros, totally different than college.
Yeah, I was looking at some other people like Mark Jackson. If they would have fired Thibodeau or would have known that they were firing Thibodeau before, we could have got him instead of Billy Donovan. That would have been better.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, Donovan's a good coach.
Yeah.
But it's all college, so just have to see what the transition is going to be like for him.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What else do we have? James Harden getting 13 turnovers. The Western Conference Finals setting the record for most turnovers in a game. Was that surprising to you?
Nope.
It was surprising. I mean, it's surprising it was that bad. I didn't think Houston was going to win, but I didn't think that Harden was going to play that bad.
They shouldn't have been there to begin with. The Clippers should have swept them.
The Clippers are the biggest choke artists in the world. How do you lose 3 straight like that? Fuck. That was wrong. That was bad. That was really, really bad. Especially that game where they had the 19-point lead and they lost.
Okay.
Yeah,
that shouldn't have happened. It seems like they just lit up the gas. So after they beat the Spurs, they just thought they had a straight trip to the finals and just lit off. That's what it felt like to me.
You can't do that. You so can't do that.
Then
now they're going to break that team up.
That was another thing. DeAndre, they were talking about him possibly going to Dallas, since he is from around the Houston area. That would be. I don't know why though. They have Tyson Chandler. I mean, he's not bad.
Well, I heard that they may try to trade, like give them Chandler for Jordan.
That'd be interesting. What else was there? Wade. That was the next person. They were talking about him possibly leaving Miami to go to the Clippers. But they would have to give up Crawford, and DeAndre would have to leave for him to be able to play with them. So I don't even know what that team would be like with Wade on there.
How much do you think Wade is? How much of an impact do you think he still have? That's the question.
I don't know. He could get 20. If he was healthy, he'd get 20 a game, but I don't know much else besides that, what he would do.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest worry is like how much is he gonna do for your team at this point of his career? You know, he's been
I
around
already
him.
told you what D-Wade doing, man. They setting up for KD, man. We're about to bring Kevin Durant from OKC, take him to South Beach the next
He's
season.
not going to
Yeah, he's not
Miami.
going to Miami.
Take him to South Beach. We're going to court him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he can court him all he wants. He's not going to Miami. If he leaves Oklahoma, I'm sorry, but
That's they plan. I mean, I read.
City for DC. He's not leaving.
Supposedly, that's their plan is to have D-Wade opt out on reconstruct his contract to make room for KD. So that's gonna be
That's fine, but he's not going to Miami.
That's gonna be interesting.
They better not.
No, I don't think he has any interest at all in going.
Yeah,
to Miami.
there's no reason for him
If
to
you
go
look
there.
at Miami, they're on the downside right now.
Yeah.
So he would go, like I said, he would either come back home, or if he likes Billy Donovan and things are working there, he'll stay in OKC. I don't really see him leaving. He loves that organization too much to
Yep.
leave anything but home.
He needs to stay. We need him to stay just as much as he needs us.
Yeah, because I don't think he really cares about the money as much as some people do. I think he's comfortable with the money he's getting.
Yeah. Let's see. Kid, we can talk about your Bucks. Were you surprised by their performance by the Bulls or what?
Yes, I am very surprised and happy with my guys of the Milwaukee Bucks. Even though we got blew out in that last game, we shouldn't even been there. I felt like, I thought we was gonna make history. Coming down, coming back down 0-3. But it happens. We wasn't fully loaded, but I think next season, if with Cleveland and with the Bucks being in that Central Division, it's gonna be tough for them because they gotta face the Bulls, they gotta face the Cavs. But I think that's just gonna make them better for years to come. I see them being one of the top teams in the East if they keep their core within like 2 years. Within 2 years, they keep that core together, they'll be one of the top teams in the East. So I have no problem with it. It's just learning. They gonna learn from it and get better.
Yeah, if they were actually in a good conference, they wouldn't be in the playoffs. So I mean, it's good for them to get the experience.
Yeah, you get the experience now. They won almost 50 games this year. So I take it. That's a good start from last season. Jabari comes back healthy. We pick up somebody in this draft. I don't know who. We'll pick up somebody.
I didn't even know what pick y'all had. That was my next thing was the draft lottery about Minnesota winning it. That was actually like the first time that the team with like the highest percentage had won in like a few years. I forgot how much. Cleveland's been winning this shit every other year. I don't know why.
By the way, the Bucks won 41 games. They didn't come close to 50.
Hey, 9 away from 50.
Just to be clear.
They won 40
I'll take 41. I would think we had, 15 last season? I'll take 50. I'll take 41.
I think y'all won like 20-something more games. So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
a mark improvement.
Yep. So, going into the finals, who is y'all's picks and in what amount of games?
I got Golden State in 5.
Yeah, I don't know about 5. I do have Golden State, but I figure it's going to go 6. LeBron's not just going to lay down for them. They may not beat them at home, but LeBron's taking the middle games in Cleveland for sure.
Oh, that was what I was going to say too. Golden State in 6. So
I don't know, Will. You've been a jinx, man. First you said Bucks in 7. You said Clippers in 7.
Hey, the Clippers
I think
won
the
the
Bucks
first
in
round.
7 was a joke.
The Clippers won the first round,
Oh, man.
but then they choked. So, I mean, I haven't said anything about Golden State this whole time. I wanted the Clippers to go.
Yeah.
Hopefully they win. No, I don't want to see LeBron win. I just don't. I'm done with him.
He doesn't have. If he wins, this will be probably The greatest accomplishment by a NBA star.
If Wade ain't winning the finals, LeBron ain't winning the finals. And that's my
Who?
mindset. I'm sticking
Who's not
to
winning
it.
the finals?
I said if Wade ain't winning the finals, LeBron ain't winning the finals.
Okay, so yeah, so just to be clear, Wade couldn't win the finals without LeBron a couple of years. Couldn't win the finals on his own. So I don't know if you want to make that comparison.
Hey, I mean, they should have
Wade
won.
has never won a
there.
finals on his own. He's never been to the finals by himself. So
Who?
wait,
Let me see. 06?
you mean with Shaquille O'Neal,
That was
who was
Past
still
his
the 20,
prime?
who still was a 20 and 12 player at that point?
not in that series. He wasn't.
Yeah, he
In
was.
that series.
Yeah, he was. Wade had a hell of a series, but he would have never got there without Shaquille O'Neal or Pat Riley, because he couldn't do it before.
Listen, when Wade first got there, his rookie year, he led the team to the second round. His rookie year.
Okay,
Second year he was there. Shaq got there, led them to the West. I mean, not the West, the Eastern Conference Finals, and lost.
Okay, so what I hear is he couldn't lead them to the finals until Shaq get there. Is all I hear.
Shaq came his second year.
Okay, which is fine.
Shaq was on a decline when he after that first year in Miami.
Fresh off of being in the championship.
Oh, Mike.
Shit. So, how many years has Wade been to the finals by himself? Is the question. Explain that, because I've seen LeBron go twice. I've seen LeBron go once
He
with
got
the
injured in
Cleveland team.
07. He had the shoulder injury. He lost to the Bulls in the first round. He wasn't even healthy. The year after that, they lost all them games. Shaq was gone. The year after that, he was the leading scorer, I believe. When he was
Okay.
He's making a campaign for the MVP run.
Okay.
He lost Game 7 to the Hawks. Which was
Now, how many finals did you hear that Wade went to by himself?
Listen, Wade went to finals
I
by
heard
himself.
zero. I heard zero.
06.
I heard zero because
I hear one.
Until Shaq came there, he
Shaq
couldn't
was
get
on
nowhere.
prime.
He couldn't. It doesn't matter if Shaq was in his prime. He needed Shaq.
Shaq was not a factor in them series.
He wasn't a factor.
D-Wade took over. D-Wade took over in that Eastern Conference Finals and in that Finals.
So Shaq did nothing, is what you're saying.
He played his role.
Oh, okay. So that's okay. So in other words, Wade can't make a finals by himself unless he has other superstars with him, is what you're saying. Because that's exactly what I've seen in his career.
No.
I've seen LeBron go with Cleveland without any superstars and face the Spurs. I see Wade do that shit. Am I wrong?
Okay, I'm back. Listen.
I'm just saying, am I right or am I wrong? I just want to know.
Wade led
am I right or am I wrong?
the last two conference.
If you could just answer the question, am I right or am I wrong?
Shaq was a good player, but he wasn't the same Shaq from the Lakers. It's not the same.
So he still needed a good player. He couldn't do it by himself, is what you're saying.
To get past Detroit, yes.
So you just answered. You just said that without another star, he couldn't get by. Thank you. That's all I needed to hear. Was that? That's what you're saying. That's exactly what you're saying.
Folks, I gotta go. It's about that time. We're gonna have to save that debate for another show. I gotta go. I gotta get up out of here.
All right.
Where Will go?
Did Will get kicked?
We still alive, yeah, I guess.
Oh, well, Will got kicked, so I'm gonna assume that is it for the show. Well, now he has to shut it down, so.
Oh, well, I'm about to get up out of here, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. If you agree with me, let me know in the comment section below. If you agree with Mike, don't let me know in the comment section below. But it's all good. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad to be back, and hopefully we can keep this thing going.
Oh, man.
Well, I'll catch up with you guys later.
All right, later.
Yep.
So we're going to see if Will comes back to close out his own show. since he got dumped on his old thing. Let me see what he's gonna do. Kid is crazy with the Shaquille O'Neal thing. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. Let me look up the Shaquille O'Neal stats just really quick to see what he did in that year. He didn't do anything. 2005, 2006 season. Let's see. What Shaquille O'Neal actually did. Oh, he actually did do something in the playoffs. So he averaged 17 points and 13 rebounds, which means he still was doing something in the playoffs. What do you know? Interesting. So yeah. Shaquille O'Neal actually did do something. No, he averaged what? How many? Yeah, he pretty much did fine. So Will's crazy. But yep, we're out of here. Will's not able to get back. So appreciate you guys for coming. Hopefully we won't have any more technical difficulties like we had this day. And we'll holler at you this Saturday. I believe he said we're doing a podcast. So on behalf of Will, Kid, everybody who had to step off, I'm Mike. Appreciate you guys listening. And we'll see you later. Peace.